Wednesday night, I get an alert on my phone from one of my credit cards showing that there has been a transaction for $10.55 from Amazon that I hadn't purchased. I was like, And the only person, like, I looked at my cards and I saw that my card was still in my pocket. And I was like, wow, that's weird. So I go to Amazon, my Amazon account. I looked and there was nothing that had been purchased for $10.55. I was like, whoa. Just because, like, I'm really aware, I knew that was a fraudulent purchase. So what I did was we contacted Amazon, wrote to them, but then the following morning they wrote to us and said, they did not see any fraudulent account. And as you can see here, they said they didn't see anything fraudulent, and maybe they gave me different reasons, as you can see, why that could have happened. So immediately I was like, you know what? Even as I contacted Amazon, I called my credit card company to just let them know that there was a purchase from Amazon for $10.55 that I didn't authorize, and so I just wanted to report it. So the girl that I spoke to, she was like, okay, then we have to cancel your card. And I was like, really? Do you have to? She's like, yes, we have to. So, and I knew that was going to happen, but I just didn't want the hassle of, changing all the things that I have attached to that card. But then again, I knew that that's a test, that somebody may have just went into Amazon, bought something to test it. And actually, I showed my daughter and I was just like, you see this? Watch, tomorrow, I'm going to see a lot of purchases. And I don't even know whether I spoke it into existence. So anyways, the following day, I wake up, I'm like, you know what, I need to look at my account to just to make sure. Just because of that previous night, I was like, I need to check it. So I go to my account. So backing up a little bit, speak to the girl at the credit card company, and she's like, no, we have to cancel it, and so we will mail you another card, and it's gonna take 7 to 10 days. I'm like, no, I need my card, because actually that card, we do have, all of us, we do have that same card, but it doesn't have the same card number. I'm the person who has that card, but every person, my kids, my husband, they all have cards with them, because I have my kids with it as authorized users to build their credits. That's another video for another day, how I have used them as authorized users to build their credit. So she's like, oh, if you want, I can express it to you. And I was like, oh, so there's that option. Is there a charge for it? She's like, no, there's no charge for it. And I'm like, okay. So then that would be, okay, then express it to me. So the following morning, I wake up after doing my stuff. I'm like, okay, I need to check my account. I check my account, and there was all these charges. There was like 8 of them. There was Amazon. There was still another Amazon. There was Google. Something to do with Google. I don't know what they did. There was Wix. There was Instacart. There was AAA. There was like 8 of them. And thankfully, they all were saying, they were all pending transactions. They were all saying 0, 8 of them. And I'm like, wow, yes. And also there was one for ChatGPT, OpenAI. I'm like, wow. Thank God that I canceled this account, but I'm just now wondering, because transactions are pending, am I going to be charged all this? And I'm thinking, how much is all this money? But I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to panic, because that's the reason I usually use credit cards, it's for stuff like this. If something fraudulent happens, I'm covered, and the credit companies already know that. So I decided, you know what, let me just call them and see, and just let them know there's all these zeros, and I had already called them the night before. So speak to this person, and they're like, oh, we see that it didn't go through. They were all declined because the card was canceled. I was like, yes. So what is the purpose of this video, and why am I saying this? I'm saying this because it's so funny. I just did a video last week, or actually this week, and that title, I had talked about the money habits that we need to adopt this year. And one of the things that I had said is about creating systems for yourself. And the other thing I had said is monitoring your accounts regularly. And it's so funny because I was like, oh my goodness, this is the same thing I was talking about, because I was talking about how it is important in 2026 we create money habits that are gonna help us. And how is this money habit? It's a system. I had a system. I had an alert system. I have alert systems for every purchase that is done with those cards. So that's a system. So I was alerted when that purchase went through. And I could have had an alert, but I could have ignored it. So that's another lesson, because you can have alerts, but then you ignore the alerts. So having the system is so important, because if I didn't have that system in place, I could have ignored that. And I don't even though the credit card company would have refunded all, maybe every single thing, I don't know how much this person or whoever did this to my card could have been doing with my card, and maybe they could have just gone and just did all these things, because I was looking at all the things that they bought with this card. I'm like, Wix, ChatGPT, Instacart. I'm like, are you kidding me? So having a system is so important. And it is another, I'm gonna reinforce, and I know this video is not about reinforcing the habits that I spoke to. You can watch that video and I'm gonna link it in the description. This video is about the systems. So always make sure you have systems. So if you don't have systems, then make sure that you're monitoring your account regularly. And the importance of especially looking, if you see something that you're not, like you're suspicious about, reporting it right away, and thank God, there's like, I use credit cards and I have debit cards. And the reason I use credit cards is I don't use them foolishly. Everything that I use the credit card for, it's something that I can debit. So I just use it because it's a card that I get points, and the points translate into different things, and I love it. And that's another video for another day, how I use those cards for that. The other thing is making sure that when these things happen, that you don't panic. You just, because you already have the system, so don't panic. Just follow whatever systems that you have, and then guess what? You are safe. And the other thing that I wanted to reinforce is that just because you're good with money doesn't mean that things will not happen to you. And I consider myself somebody who is good with money. And I'm like, how did this even happen? My card is in my pocket. So I don't know. And I was trying to figure out when was the last time that I used that card. And I think it was New Year's Eve. That was the last time I used my card. And it was at a local store here. And I'm like, how did that happen? So, and I'm thinking, did I swap it? Did I insert it? Was it, skimmed? And I was like, I'm trying to figure it out, but sometimes these things happen and you cannot figure it out. So always know that just because you're good with money, things do happen. Fraudulent things do happen, and it's not because you did something wrong. As I said, I didn't go into website that I should not have gone. I had my card with me. I was literally trying to figure out what happened, but I'm thinking it's something local, because there is that where I mentioned like that AAA. That AAA, it says AAA Northeast, and AAA Northeast is in my state, like the area that I live. So I'm just thinking it's one of those stores, because New Year's Eve I went to 2 stores, and I'm thinking maybe that's where something happened that day. But I just wanted to come here because I thought that was really interesting, because I did a video about money habits, and one of the things was about the systems, and then this happens to me. So let me know in the comments, do you have any money systems? Do you have any alerts for your banking, like when anything that you buy that you get alerts for? Or if you don't have, are you going to put them into place? Let me know if this was helpful, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching as always, and please do not forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what kind of videos that you want to see going forward for this year, because I'm working on my content for this year and I really want to give you guys value. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.